Short one, please.
Please.
And then we wrap up.
It's about time. Because Stadilo yesterday was talking about how market is determining the time of farmers and how market is important for farmers, especially in agribusiness and agrochemical agriculture. And we'd like to ask, how about time for the small farmers? Because if they are enslaved to this market, how can they deal with this time? Because lettuce takes 30 days, so you can take this and everybody wants to eat that, but other kinds of food that are more nutritious, they need more time to grow. And how can they deal with this? It's time that market demands this very fast, but the plants, they don't grow like that. So how can they deal with this?
About autonomy.
Yeah, you know, industrial civilization has privileged speed. You know, take the fossil fuel out, put the coal, throw it into textile industry, make huge amounts of bad clothing and dump it on the rest of the world. And the same logic has now been applied to food, whether it is the speed of production and the cycles getting shorter and shorter, or it is processing. The best of food takes time to process. A good cheese cannot be made instantly. An instant noodle to me is an insult to the human diet. How can you have a 2-minute noodle? Yeah? You need to count the time that went into the farmer growing that crop, the centuries that it took for the seed, every step, the long distance change, the carbon emissions, all that needs to go. But there's also this pressure of speed created because of a waste. I heard once, there was a World Bank meeting taking place in Delhi, and so every place, wherever you went, to the airport, to any place, there were these people who had attended the meeting, and the World Bank officials were talking about the fact that when Walmart procures, for example, from a bakery, then that bakery must stock every kind of bread till 5 p.m. But they will only pick up about 5% of that, which means 95% is thrown away. That's how food waste gets generated. And this company was given an award because they were now using bread as fuel. Burning bread while 1 billion people starve. How can that be rewarded as an efficient use of food? The reason there is now a slow food movement, and I'm a vice president at the international level, is because this privileging, subsidizing of speed and fast. We need to reflect on the ecological time of the farmer needing to work at a pace that both maintains the health of their community. Look at how traditional societies did farming with leisure. Tribals in India tell me when they go farming, I'm going to beautify the land. They don't treat farming as a burden. They treat it as beautifying the land. Then they have celebrations, 5 days of dancing, 30 days of doing nothing. We have huge festivals on the menses of the earth. That because the earth is a mother, she also has a menstruation cycle and she must be allowed to rest. Now, all of that is consideration of time for the earth, for the farmer, for the community. That's where culture gets created. And this assembly line work, which just pushes time, is a dehumanization because it turns people, including farmers, into producers on an assembly line. And it's fine for industrial efficiency, as Taylor talked about it, but it's highly inefficient for ecological efficiency and human efficiency of allowing the farmer to live a full life at the pace that allows that full life to happen. So we have to reclaim time as a commons, just as we have to reclaim knowledge as a commons, and we have to reclaim seed as a commons.
Okay, well, thank you very much, both. Just to wrap up, You've both been longtime activists in the fight for food security and food sovereignty. So, what message would you give for the young people who are here watching you and for the people who are joining this fight now? Want to start, Milton?
Okay. Well, it's an honor to be here with Vandana. And I remember when we met first, it was in Rio Grande do Sul. I was working in the government of Rio Grande do Sul with Governor Olívio Dutra at that time. And I was translating for the vice government, who after became the Minister of Agrarian Development under Lula. And it was so interesting when she was describing what Monsanto had done in India, which was exactly what they did here with CTN-Bio, transforming a consultative body in a decisive body. And I was so emotional, I stopped translating. I remember everybody looking at me, and then I realized I was there to translate, not to make judgments. So I think that we have a lot to learn from India, and we hope to have always the cooperation of Vandana to make this world food sovereignty.
In the 40 years that I've been working on agroecological issues, and when I started, I was an absolutely lone voice, saying biodiversity is more productive, monocultures are unproductive, we don't need chemicals in farming. Today there's such a large movement, and the young people wanting to join the movement for agroecology and food sovereignty shows two things. One, that they are not being convinced by the propaganda that comes, that industrial agriculture is the only way to feed the world and we need to hand over our lives to the big corporations. But also that they care about their food and they care about the future of the earth. And that is what is driving them, because agroecology brings together the earth as the ecological web of life and human beings as both the producers as well as eaters of food. It is the place where we have the most intimate relationship with the earth, and we can redefine this relationship. And the radical thinking that's growing, that suddenly all over the world people are saying Mother Earth, Terra Madre. Yeah? It's become a normal vocabulary. A few years ago, you used to have everyone descending, you know, the earth is not a sentient being. You know, just dead matter, just mine the ore, just mine the bauxite. And I think the most positive thing that I see is, as more science tells us how things work, we realize agroecology works more efficiently than industrial farming. Ecologically bred seeds work more efficiently than GMOs. And this is at the highest scientific level. But even democracy works better when there is food sovereignty and there is agroecology. Otherwise, we are on the verge of a dictatorship through food. As Henry Kissinger said, food is a weapon, and it can be used to decimate ecosystems and populations. In my view, every species has a right to be in the future, and every human being and every child has a right to a healthy future. And our role is to guarantee this. And it's becoming so clear that there's only two things propping up a highly inefficient agriculture system. The first is subsidies, which is our tax money. And the second is manipulated knowledge. So the more the younger people can create independent knowledge, get fully informed, and the more they become democratically active, as they are on the streets of Brazil all over. If they can come out in millions about bus fares, shouldn't they come out in billions all over the world about food prices?
Okay, thank you very much.